Are you letting your gifts or superpowers run on autopilot? Do you feel like there is something that is holding you back from making the true impact that you want to make or becoming the person you want to be? If so, you're going to want to watch this. Today, I want to talk all about the idea of intention and being extremely intentional. In fact, what I want to uncover is 7 secrets, or whatever you want to refer to it as, about being intentional with your gifts and superpowers. Now, by the end of this video, you're going to have tools that you can use to influence the right people and make a real difference in the world using your gifts and superpowers. So join me as we cover this. Now, real quick before we do, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment your thoughts along the way. I love to hear what people have to say. You may want to even share this with someone that you see needs some help in being more intentional with what they have so that they can make a greater impact on the world. Of course, you can find us also on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, or you can go to thegivermethod.com for more information about us. Now, my name is Jake. I am the founder and chief giver over at The Giver Method and Impact Makers. And if you're here, we want to help you to focus on discovering and developing your gifts and superpowers, identifying the right people you can influence with that, and be impactful and intentional. That's why we're talking about intentionality today. We want you to make the greatest impact you can on them by delivering value with your gifts and superpowers without asking for anything in return, and that each engagement and discussion and interaction you have is more effective and they are eager to show up. And the results you're going to see from this are going to be, number 1, relationship riches. You're going to see improved relationships with your spouse, your partner, your children, parents, coworkers, siblings, whatever it may be. You're also going to notice what I've found is that when people really develop their gifts and superpowers and they're hyper intentional with them and who they serve, and they do so without asking for anything in return, the universe has a way of paying you back. Now, that may not come right away, but it does happen. And once you become a giver, as we call it, that's why it's the Giver Method. Once you become a giver, you're going to be able to transform the lives of people around you using your gifts and superpowers. You can make greater impact, have deeper connections, and be more fulfilled. Essentially, step into being who it is that you want to be. Before we dive in, I want to ask you a couple quick questions. I want you to think about these, ponder on them. If you want, get out pieces of paper, because I'm going to have questions and action items that I want you to do, so you may want to jot some of this down. So, question number 1, when was the last time that you truly felt aligned with your purpose? And not only did you find that you were aligned with your purpose, you felt that way, but you were utilizing gifts and superpowers that you have to do that. And if you're struggling to remember, don't worry about that. We're about to change that. We're going to help to resolve that. So the first one, the first thing, secret step, whatever you want to call it, the first one that we have is that you have to know what your passion and purpose are. You need to almost create like a purpose doc, and not in a way that sounds corporate-y or overly businessy, but the first step to being intentional is knowing my purpose, my passion, the direction I'm on, who I'm trying to develop in my personal professional development to become. Like, why? What am I passionate about? How is that going to show up? This is about understanding like truly what drives you and what you are deeply committed to. So if you haven't done this before, this is where I said there's going to be action steps. You're going to want to take some time to reflect on what truly matters to you. Define what are your personal core values or your family core values. What gets you out of bed in the morning? What gets you excited? What are the things that you feel the most alive doing? Write these things down, reflect on them, review them, because trust me, that's going to help you to define and know more what your purpose and passions are. Number 2 is going to be that you need to identify your sphere of influence. If I'm going to be taking my gifts and superpowers and being more intentional with them, who and where and how, like what's that sphere of influence? You need to know who it is that you're influencing, especially influencing for a positive. This isn't just about the direct interactions you have. It's about the impact you can make on them and the individuals around them, and knowing that there's going to be a ripple effect after that of how then they change and how they show up for others and how that's going to impact that person's life, and so on and so on. So your action step here is going to be to make a list of the people in your life that you can make an impact on directly or indirectly. And as you are making decisions, as you are interacting, like I said, since this is all about intentionality, you're going to want to keep that on your mind as you move forward. You want to come back regularly and review that list and see if it's changed at all. Or is there anyone new? Is there anyone that you need to take off? Whatever that may look like. Number 3, you have to set clear and intentional goals. Without any sort of a clear direction, you will lose focus. Now, I know back in the day when I was in a very corporate business world, they talked a lot about SMART goals, and a SMART goal defined to how, it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, timely, all that type of stuff. But if you pick those sort of things and align them with your gifts and superpowers, and then identify the impact that you want to make, you can set clear goals that help guide you down that path. So your action step, if you have not done this already, is that you need to write down your goals. You need to put them somewhere where you're seeing them on a regular occasion. Tape them up on the mirror in your bathroom, put them where you charge your phone at night, constantly be looking at this list. Think about creating those goals as a SMART goal, like I said, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And there's going to be so much clarity that gives you, that you're going to be more intentional with your actions, knowing that this is my goal, that's what I'm working towards, and I want to do that every single day. The fourth thing about being more intentional is going to be to align your actions daily with your values. Being intentional means that you're ensuring your actions match up with the core values you have and the goals that we just talked about, right? So what I want you to do is, for each of your top values, and if you don't know what those are, you should take some time to flush that out. Think of how you can actively demonstrate each of those values today, and how can you do it with using your gifts and superpowers. If you can combine those two together, you're going to supercharge your ability to be more intentional. Number 5, you need to practice active listening and understand presence in the moment. The most powerful tools that we have with intention is listening and really dialing in and doing that with empathy, looking for the emotion, what's the why behind what people are saying. And that makes you more present, being here and direct with them. Put away the distractions, put away your phone, put away whatever that may be, turn off the computer, get to where you are right there. That intentionality changes how you show up, and it changes the level of connection that you have with that individual. So your action step here is going to be in your conversations throughout the rest of the day. Put away the distractions, make direct eye contact, focus on your understanding of the person, and you're going to notice that there's a difference in the quality of that interaction. And that's part of that intentionality. The 6th thing is something direct from the book, The Giver Method, and it's create vivid value. So creating value with your gifts without asking for anything in return, of course. Vivid, making it so clear and crisp and beautiful of what that value is you're providing them. It's not enough to just give your gifts, but you need it to be vivid so that it's a memorable value to them. So what you want to do is you want to think about how you can go above and beyond with your interactions today, tomorrow, throughout the week. How can you surprise or delight or change or impact people using your gifts and superpowers? Number 7 is that you need to reflect and adjust regularly. We often tell people you should be journaling and doing weekly reflections. Living intentionally isn't a one-time thing. It's not something you just decide to do. It's an ongoing process. And so regular reflection helps you just make sure you stay aligned with your purpose, with your goals, with what you're trying to do. And in some cases, find maybe I slipped, maybe I didn't do what I should have, and I need to update that, I need to change that. So your action item here is going to be to set aside time daily, weekly, and think back on that. Review your goals. What's your progress so far? Celebrate the wins, identify areas of opportunity, and then determine how you're going to make the necessary changes to make that happen. With all of that, I want you to always be believing in you and believing that you are on the path of becoming who you want to be. Being intentional with your gifts and superpowers, it's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent with your choices and being aligned with your goals. And when you back that with your gifts and superpowers, it's just going to make so much more of an impact on those around you. If that's the point, if you're trying to be intentional with it, it's about showing up fully with your gifts, your talents, that you're working to create a positive change. By following these 7 things, secrets, ideas, whatever we want to call them, you're going to be on your way to making more lasting, intentional impact using your gifts and superpowers. If you found this video helpful, as always, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like it, comment your thoughts at the bottom, and share this with someone who may need it now that you've heard all of the details. Now, at the same time, we often are starting one of our Giver Academy group online workshops. We've got one coming up soon. It's going to be an 8-week group online workshop, small group working with me on identifying and developing your gifts and superpowers, who to give them to, how to create the right value for people, how to improve your engagements, interactions, discussions with people so that you can get those relationship riches and the universe paying you back. You can make that greater impact that you were born to make. I always tell people, The universe, the world, they're waiting for you to wake up and start being more intentional with your gifts and superpowers so that you can make that impact. So in that workshop, we're going to work through your gifts, superpowers. We're going to work on overcoming fears or things that might hold you back, and so many other ways of looking at it so that you can become that person you want to be. This is your chance to step into your power, into who you want to be, make more meaningful connections, and that you can create the impact that you were born to make. And so if you're ready to do that, the only thing you have to do is send an email to info@thegivermethod.com with the subject line, I'm ready. And if you do that, we'll send you more details about the workshop. Always remember to believe in yourself. Always remember that your gifts and superpowers are unique and they are valuable to other people. We need to find the ways that we can give them. It's about being intentional so we can make an impact and create the change that only you can make. So until next time, keep growing, keep giving, keep trying to make a difference, keep being intentional with what you do. If you enjoyed the video, join us next time, and hopefully you have a great rest of your day.